Hey guys, it's Kevin. This is going to be another classic movie for you guys, and this is going to be the final of the 4th of July movies. Not the final classic movie, that's not going to be till like in August. But like I said, I'm sure you guys are wondering, where was this movie? Why didn't you review this movie? How can you do a 4th of July review without doing this movie? Well, you know what? I'm 10 steps ahead of you guys because I made this my last one because I figured I should end with this one and it'd be a good one to end with. It's a movie I want to see for such a long time. And I don't understand why I never watched it. But that is the 1996 science fiction disaster classic Independence Day. Yes, finally I have seen Independence Day, and I'm actually very happy I watched it because I've wanted to see this movie for a while, and I've heard, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I mean, I knew this was like a fun disaster movie, but I didn't know if it was going to be good. I've heard mixed things about it. Yes, I did get it from my library because there's no way I'm buying this thing on Blu-ray. You guys know I don't really like disaster movies, so I was hoping that this would be good. And after watching Independence Day, what I think of this movie, is Independence Day ridiculous? Yes. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it a lot of fun? Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. It has quite a few problems. It's definitely not a perfect movie, but for a disaster movie, it really is, one of the better ones. And a lot of people consider this to be the first, like, popcorn fun movie. You know when, like, the term, when you say, like, you go to movies just for popcorn and to turn your brain off and to have a good time? That's what Independence Day is, really. It's one of those movies where just, like you turn your brain off, it's a fun time. That really is what it is. And, that's fine with a movie like this. Basically, the plot of Independence Day is really simple. It's not that hard of a plot or anything. We basically focus on this three different groups of people who are all in this Nevada desert in the aftermath of this destructive alien attack, and along with the rest of the human population, they're basically participating in a counterattack to see exactly what happened, why these aliens attack them, and they basically all team up, and eventually all three of their stories intertwine. And that's basically a plot of Independence Day. Yeah, it's pretty stupid, but you know what? From a movie like this, you really do expect it to be. By the way, guys, sorry about the fireworks in the background. It's 4th of July. What do you expect? But let's just get into this movie. There is a lot to talk about with this movie, and quite a few things I really didn't know about this movie. But let me say, the acting is actually pretty good in this movie. I was surprised. The acting was pretty good. I thought, for the most part, everyone did a really good job. Will Smith, his character, Captain Stephen Hilter, I really liked his character. I mean, you can tell that he was having a lot of fun making this movie. Yeah, his story's kind of cliche. He basically was like, he wants to be this astronaut, but he was turned down by NASA, and I thought that was kind of interesting that we saw that with this character. But like the whole thing with him and his girlfriend, how he wants her to be his wife, but she's like this exotic dancer. That was kind of dumb. But I liked his character overall. I thought, you really rooted for his character, and he was just this really cool guy. Honestly, I think he did a really good job, and definitely he was really good. Bill Pullman as Thomas J. Whitmore, I really liked his character as well, because his character, he's one of the only ones that's not going up into space to, attack these aliens. He is actually trying to rally everyone and get everyone to remain calm, and basically, just keep everyone, tell everyone that they're going to be okay and that everything's going to be fine. And I thought he did a really good job with that. He has this great speech in the movie, which he definitely did a great job with. And for the most part, I definitely really liked his character. Yeah, he has some really cheesy lines, but I thought for the most part it was really good. However, the cheesiest acting by far comes from Jeff Goldblum as David Levison. David! David! I need to call my mother. I need to call my brother. Yeah, that's Harvey Weinstein, but Harvey Firestein. But that's hilarious. Jeff Goldblum, I thought, did a really good job. He's like the more like intelligent one of the group, and he's the most experienced of the group, and he works as like satellite technician. And I thought it was interesting how all three of these characters' lives intertwine with each other. The way they did, I thought was really good, and you can see that all of them were having a lot of fun. That was definitely something I really enjoyed. Mary McDonnell, I thought, was really good as the first lady. President Whitmore's wife. She was definitely very good in the movie. Judd Hirsch was fine. Robert Logie, I thought, was okay. Randy Quaid was good. Vivica Fox as Jasmine. I liked her character, but I don't see the point of the exotic dancing. All it seemed like to me is just, oh, we want to do exotic dance so we can, like, get people to enjoy her. That's what it seemed like to me. Harvey Firestein is completely over the top with the whole, like, David! David! Like, his character is hilarious, and how can you not laugh at that? But I still think everyone did a really good job. You know, they're all really hamming it up, but I thought that was really good. Probably the best thing about this movie, though, is the directing by Roland Emmerich, because he knew exactly what kind of movie he was making. He wasn't trying to make something high concept. He knew this is something dumb, and you know what? He made it fun. That's really what he did. He made it a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. That tone throughout is great. It really feels like one of those epic feels, like you just go into it and you enjoy it and you have fun with it. That really is what it seemed like to me. It didn't really seem like something that was high concept, something that was hard to understand. And I think Roland Emmerich, for the most part, did a really good job directing it. Definitely pretty solid directing, honestly. It could have gone really bad, and I think he did a really good job with it. The writing's ridiculous. Okay, let's face it, the writing's ridiculous. But honestly, you do care for these characters. I have to say, that's something I thought was very well done. You care for these characters. There are a lot of things that just don't make a lot of sense. Like, I don't understand a lot of things, and they don't really make a whole lot of sense. But again, this is one of those movies where that kind of stuff doesn't really matter because it's just a fun movie. And if you can enjoy it for what it is, then it's done its job, which is fine. But, you know, there's just a lot of things that don't make sense story-wise. The story doesn't really matter in this movie, though. This is one of those few disaster movies where most times I would be upset with the story, and I would be upset with, you know, how things are going. But, I thought for the most part, the screenplay was really good. At times, it's hilarious. Like, there were times I was laughing at it, and I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but I don't really care. The characters are really good, though. All their stories were really interesting, and for the most part, we were rooting for them. You know, these weren't characters that we absolutely hate. They weren't really annoying. They were fun to watch, and my only complaint with the movie really does come in the screenplay, and that is that the movie I thought was way too long. Honestly, way too long. The second half, it kind of lost me, guys. Honestly, first half, I was like, all right, this is great. By the hour mark, it was like, okay, this is kind of getting boring. I was kind of getting bored by it. And the movie definitely did get better once, you know, they went up into space and things like that. But they were dragging things out so long, and was like, can we just, like, trim this a little? I get that, like the whole thing with the president's storyline, I thought we spent way too much time on that. I just thought the movie could have been a lot shorter. The movie is 145 minutes, and I feel like it only had to be, like, 2 hours, and that would have been fine. The movie did not need to be, like, as long as it was. It was fine. It wasn't really a huge complaint, but I just felt like it was a little bit too long and kind of lengthy, definitely. However, what we remember when we go into this movie is the cinematography. That's what is the most memorable thing about this movie. And yeah, some of the effects, they are pretty out of date, and some of them actually do kind of look like shit, but for the most part, they still look great, and the scenes are just as thrilling and gripping as they were when the movie first came out. We guys have to understand, when this movie first came out, it was like Star Wars. Like, it was huge. Everybody wanted to see it. Everybody was loving it, and that's because a movie like this hadn't been done yet, and that's really why Independence Day is, I think, a very important movie, because a movie like this really hadn't been done. It honestly is a pretty big accomplishment. Yeah, it did start, you know, pieces of shit like 2012 and The Day After Tomorrow, but this movie at least had a great story, and that really is great that it did that. And the scenes, you know, are very thrilling, especially the scenes in space. Like, there were some scenes where I was really on the edge of my seat, and I was really loving that. I mean, that's what I want out of these movies. I want to be on the edge of my seat. I want my heart to be, like, pounding, bum, 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 like that the whole movie. I definitely want that, and I love that they did that. Honestly, I thought that was great. The score was also really good at this movie. It really captured the fun and the epic feel. The score kind of sounded like Spielberg, but definitely wasn't, you know, like John Williams or anything. But I still thought the score was very good. Definitely, it was a lot of fun to listen to. And, it definitely kept you invested in the story. Here's my thing. Even though the story, as I said, was boring, whenever that score would come on and you see them, like, fighting and space, like, it really keeps you invested in the movie. This is a movie where you can easily lose interest, but then it'll put you back in and you'll be able to refocus. And I thought that was really good, because there were times where, I will admit, I drifted in and out. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like whatever. But for the most part, I was really into it, definitely. I think you can easily lose interest, but then it'll just hook you right back in. I thought that was really good that did that. The editing I thought was fine. The movie was just a bit too long, but again, these are pretty much complaints of every disaster movie. Any disaster movie you will see, you will say it's too long. San Andreas just came out. This movie's better than San Andreas, definitely. But San Andreas, for example, was way too long. It didn't need to be the length it was. It could have been like 90 minutes, and it was like 100, and it was almost 2 hours long. It really didn't have to be. Um, Also, this movie, if you're looking for a movie about the 4th of July, this is one of the most essential out of all of them. It screams America, fuck yeah. And that's really why it's considered one of the best movies to watch on the 4th of July. Plus, it takes place on the 4th of July. The way they have that countdown, yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but I think that was kind of cool as well. The movie does have a really great message of how we can all come together and stop something as a nation and things like that. Yeah, it does have, like, that patriotism message, but I thought it worked really well in this movie. Like, the scene where President Whitmore is giving this speech, I thought was really well done. I actually really enjoyed it. I think they did a really good job with that scene. Yeah, it is pretty cheesy, but I think for the most part, they did a really good job with it. Honestly, they did, and I really did enjoy it. The effects, as I said, yeah, they are out of date, but the action sequences are awesome. They're amazing to watch, and they're very, very well done, definitely. I really did enjoy the action sequences, and I thought they did that very well. Something I do applaud the movie for is how slow-paced it was. They really do give you time to set up these characters and enjoy them. But as I said, I just feel like we spend a little bit too much time on them. That really is my only thing here. They are making a sequel, which I am not at all interested in. Why do we need a sequel to Independence Day? Like, really Independence Day resurgence? Apparently the movie's, it's going to be, like, all over the world this time instead of, just America, which is fine, I guess. By the way, this movie was nominated for Best Visual Effects and Best Sound Mixing. Best Sound Mixing it definitely deserved. This is a loud-ass movie. Like, this movie is loud. When I say it's loud, it is loud. It's loud, and this is one of those movies where you want to turn up your TV because it's really fucking loud. The visual effects, I can understand why it was nominated for Best Visual Effects. While they don't hold up well today, they were very impressive in 1996, definitely. I think definitely they were very impressive, and that's great. And I know you guys are like, how is this one of the first popcorn movies? It wasn't the first big summer blockbuster. Obviously, that was Jaws. But when I mean the first big summer popcorn movie, I mean a movie that's just fun and a movie that didn't really have much substance to it. Let's face it, there's really not a lot in this that, there's not really a lot of substance to this movie. There is a good story and good characters, but for the most part, why do we watch this movie? To see things blown up, to see things get destroyed, to see some action sequences. That's why we watch this movie. And honestly, for what this is, it could have been really bad, and it's really good for the most part. I honestly really do enjoy Independence Day. I think it's a really good movie. It's something that I'm not gonna say, like, I'd watch it a lot, honestly. This isn't a movie where, like, if it was on TV, definitely I'll probably watch this, like, once every 4th, honestly. This is a movie where I think you should watch every 4th of July. You can watch it other than the 4th of July, but I think it just, is better if you watch it during the 4th of July. Like, the movie just you'll enjoy it more if you watch it during the 4th of July, because, like, the end of the movie and things like that, and just the message of the movie, I think will work better. Also, why the hell wasn't this released in July? Oh, wait, yeah, it was. Something said it was released in, like, June, but no, it was released on July 2nd. Thank God it was released on July 2nd, because it definitely deserved that, and, so yeah, overall, Independence Day, very fun movie. It's not perfect. It does have some problems. It can get very cheesy and stupid at times. It's a little bit too long, but for the most part, it's a fun movie. It's not Michael Bay. It's not to the extent of Michael Bay, which is really good. It's actually pretty intelligent. There are things that don't make sense. But if you can enjoy it and if you can overlook all those flaws, then I think it's a really fun movie. It has really good acting, really good characters, and overall, it's just a really fun movie that I think you can enjoy. It's one of those movies where if you have a bunch of friends over and you're doing a 4th of July party, watch this movie. Seriously, turn this movie on. They'll love it. You guys can laugh at it, make fun of it. I think that's great. The whole movie, I was just making impressions of Harvey Fierstein. David! David! Like, I'm sorry. That's just hilarious that they did that. And, yeah, so that's basically my review of Independence Day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys saw this movie you have seen. I know I don't have too much to say about this movie. I'm trying to, like, and I know you guys are like, well, how is this movie good, but San Andreas is bad? It's just, this movie handled it better, and it's probably because it was the first one, and it just got lucky. That really is what it is. To me, Independence Day, it just got lucky. It was just good because it got lucky. It could have been really bad, but it wasn't, and thank God it wasn't. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great 4th of July. I've really enjoyed doing these reviews for you guys. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Hannibal. Yes, finally, I will be reviewing Hannibal tomorrow. That is coming. Actually, no, I might review it tonight, honestly. I might do that, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.